There's not one guy, one person in the history of this program that's bigger than the program.
Oh, what's up, and welcome into episode number 102 of the Program Guys podcast. My name is Mason Prince. Joined with you, as always, by Patrick Hertzberger, Matt Gann, Mark Hall, Ryan Tyson. Today is Thursday, December 21st. Be sure to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Still trying to hit 2,000 subscribers. If you're watching this and you like what you're seeing, hit that subscribe button. It costs you $0, folks. Helps us out more than you know. You can follow us on all of our social media at Program Guys with a Z, our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. What else am I missing? Thought something else we had. Nothing. Be real. I don't know.
We've had a threads in the past.
Yeah, we've had a threads at some point. Yeah.
Past tense.
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, that's you can find us. And let the Program Guys podcast be the first to wish you and yours a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays from the boys. Patrick in the spirit already with the sweater. You gotta love it. I appreciate it. How's everybody living? National Signing Day, folks. If you're wondering what this episode of the Program Guys podcast is going to be, this is your one-stop shop for National Signing Day. We're running down all of the 27 signees, including the preferred walk-ons and the transfers committed as of right now. We will go through them. We're going to have a draft. We're going to draft our team. Each person going to have 5 and some change. There'll be two leftovers, but we'll talk about that when we get there. Boys, I've talked enough. How we living?
We're good, man. You know,
Brian starts it every time. I love it. It's my favorite part.
We're just grinding. You know,
yeah, we're grinding
closer to the holiday season. We're already in the holiday season, but like the real big week between Christmas and New Year's that occurs, that like nothing happens in. It's coming. It's coming.
Oh,
isn't it crazy? How in adult life you just look up sometimes and oh wow, it's December 20th.
Yeah,
Christmas is in 5 days.
Yeah,
it was 20 days last time I looked up.
I had no idea that we were 5 days away. I literally thought
who doesn't have Christmas presents? Me.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that was.
I thought I was
10
10 days away. I thought it was like December 15th. I thought it was like December 15th because National Signing Day to me means like middle of December. But like, I feel like it's later this time around for whatever reason. Early signing day. I don't know. Weird. Matt Gann.
I have officially shut my laptop until the beginning of the year. So no better feeling than that.
Hold on.
Get some much needed time off. Going back home tomorrow for some friends and family for the holidays. So
love that.
Can't go better than that. And I'm also number 1 in the Program Guys Bowl Mania. If you didn't sign up, you're missing out. I am currently 7-2 against the spread, and I am number 1 currently. And
out of how many?
You'll never guess how many. Out of 4, I am killing it. Thank you guys for joining.
So let's go ahead and address that, Matt Gann. How many people did you tell outside of this podcast to join the Bowl Mania Pick'em?
I texted all my buddies in Norman, and I texted across multiple group chats. So I would say anywhere between 30 to 40 plus people.
Gotcha. So if you're watching this episode right now and you're like, dang, I would have liked to get involved in that. I wish they would have pushed that out on our social media channels so people would know. I know it would have been sick.
Crazy.
Would have been good.
It would have been good. But Patrick, how we living out there on the West Coast, Best Coast?
You know, I'm living great. It's always a good day when commitment really means commitment for your recruiting.
That's right.
Class. 27 for 27. That's what we're expecting. Brent Venables has said it multiple times, his commitment policy. It worked flawlessly, it seems. He says, when you commit to me, it's like marriage. All these guys are now married to the University of Oklahoma, and I love it.
There was drama. I guess the biggest drama that, like, in hindsight wasn't at all was Taylor Tatum took the longest to sign on the dotted line, which like I feel like he signed in the middle of Brent Venables' like press conference when he said that they were still expecting one more and he couldn't mention Tatum by name. And then all of a sudden, while Brent's in the middle of it, he gets the okay, like, hey, he signed. He's like, okay, cool. Yeah, Taylor Tatum just signed. And Taylor Tatum rocks a lot.
It was before noon. It was before noon when Taylor Tatum, our last signee, signed.
God, do you guys remember last year with like Peyton Bowen and David Hicks?
Do I ever?
Lord Almighty, and the drama that came with all of that.
And so many people
Dude.
engaged with it.
Dude, it is wild.
And then there was just this time, it was no drama. It was pretty great.
There's no drama. 27 commits, 27 signees. Like you're batting 1,000 there. Like that's kind of, Patrick mentioned, that's the whole point of Brent Venables' commitment policy. When you commit to OU, they count you as a dude of that class. They're like, you're locked in. And shout out to all the young men, with in the era of NIL and NLI and money being thrown around. I guarantee it. I think it was Hugh Freeze for Auburn said in his press conference as well that there were some last minute pushes for their guys at the final hour last night of some of Auburn's recruits getting called by other schools. Of course, he didn't mention any by name, but like, I guarantee you that happened with other schools or with OU recruits.
Auburn was calling Florida. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
So
everyone was calling Florida.
Everyone was calling
calling Mike Norvell's recruits at Florida State.
Oh, yeah.
I also like Eli Drinkwitz had a similar quote at Missouri, and to some degree, if you're from Missouri or you're from Auburn and you want to throw stones, you better aim away from your glass house, my friend, because you are really like barking up your own tree. There's a lot of projection going on with those coaches. I feel like I don't think Brent Venables is calling anyone last night offering them a larger bag than the other schools that have been recruiting them. I just don't think that's the way that we operate. And I know Missouri does.
In case you're wondering, back-to-back top 10 classes for the University of Oklahoma at number 8 as it stands right now, according to On3. I don't know in terms of 247 or rivals or
number 7 on 247.
Number 7 on 247. Thank you, Patrick.
9 on 3.
So average it out. You're looking at
We are
like
8
8.
composite. Yeah.
Yeah, 8.
8 composite. So Georgia's 1, Bama 2, I believe.
I
Texas
think
is
Ohio
like
State
4 or
second,
5.
maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I just saw the On3 ranking, so that's kind of what I was going off of. And that's not to say I'm a favorite of On3. That's just the one that I saw. That's off the top of my head. But yeah, back-to-back top 10 classes for Brent Venables. Matt, you're just, before we get into the guys in general, just kind of your overall thoughts of the day in general.
Much smoother than last year. I really like the guys coming in, especially on the defensive line. We got just some monsters. I think guys day one impacts from a couple of guys we're going to mention. So glad to see, especially in the world of chaos of NIL, that OU got exactly what they needed, batted 100, and looking forward to getting a lot of these guys on campus, getting the weight room with Smitty, and a lot of these guys are going to be starting in the SEC play, and we're going to need them.
It's an SEC class to me is what it feels like. Patrick, any thoughts before we dive in?
Definitely an SEC class, a very well-rounded class where you have a superstars mixed in with some of the best players in other states that may not be like the highest in the ranking, but the best in their state. Amazing offensive line talent coming in. It's just wide receivers, very solid. It's just a great class all around. And I feel like it also fills potential gaps we have today. So that's good to see as well.
Anybody know off the top of their head, Ryan or Mark, maybe how many of those 27 are early enrollees? I know there was an OU gave the official
huge number of them.
Yeah,
they gave
OU
the official number, and I if there were names missing from it, I know Eddie Pierre-Louis, who my latest ball to drop that has been proven correct. Apparently, there's been some crystal balls for Nate Roberts. I'm not happy about that, but I digress. Eddie Pierre-Louis will be a summer enrollee. He's the only one that I know is not a spring enrollee. They got a bunch of these guys on board early. Has anyone had time to pull up the tweet?
I'm trying to right now.
It says, I'm looking at this, and planned mid-year enrollee with a star.
Yep.
19 out of 27.
19 out of 27. Okay. So
that's guys on board.
Yeah, that's massive. That's huge. We know how important just getting in the gym and being with Schmitty for an offseason is. Also, I want to rattle this off real quick. According to On3, Texas at number 5, in case you're wondering. SEC schools, Georgia at 1, Alabama at 2, Auburn at 7, LSU at 10. OU comes in ahead of LSU. Miami at number 4, Ohio State at number 3. Texas A&M at 14, USC at 18, Michigan at 17. Michigan at 17 is a surprise to me, but that's interesting.
Did y'all see that?
OU is still 5th in the SEC there. So that's where coaching and development is going to have to take precedence moving forward. And we've seen it with some guys, right? We've seen it all over the defense. We've seen it here and there on the offense. Bill Bedenbaugh is still throwing guys into the NFL every single season. Wanye Morris is starting games for the Chiefs right now. And that's going to matter even more moving forward. Sorry, I just had to get that out.
Yeah, you're all good.
I think, did y'all see the stats on like the top 25 recruiting classes and the conferences that they come from? And that 13 out of the 16 SEC teams were in the top 25. It's just like, it's a whole different ball game. Like the Big 12 has one team, and it's Texas Tech in like the 22nd spot. And it's nuts.
The SEC, the Big 10, Florida schools, and Notre Dame. And that's it. No one else.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I think like we've been talking about it a long time, but it seems so weird. I saw a stat that was like the lowest ranked recruiting team in the SEC is Vanderbilt, and they would be 4th in the Big 12, which is nuts. So
that's crazy.
It's absolutely crazy. Let us know down below in the comments what your general overall thoughts of the 2024 early signing day are. 27 guys locked in as of right now. Guys, I feel like we should just jump into this draft now and kind of get into the weeds here, talk a little bit about each guy whenever we draft them. So by my randomized calculator, we're going to go ahead and we're going to give Patrick the first pick.
Gosh, are you kidding?
Are you kidding?
No, we're going to give Pat the first pick.
This is the worst.
All right.
Okay,
so
what's the order?
I want to establish a couple things, right?
Okay, yes.
Let's get the full order. Let's get the full order.
Yeah.
And are we doing a snake draft? I think we should.
Yes, snake.
Feels easy.
Yeah.
And then the last thing is just like, on what are we drafting? I think it should be the impact they'll have at Oklahoma. So like a guy might come in and leave after 2 years because they're an NFL player. Like they get redshirted and then they leave after 2 years of playing. They're an NFL player, and the impact actually be smaller, right? I think we should grade it on the impact to Oklahoma, but I'm super open to thoughts. We're working this out in real time.
Yeah, I like
Let's
that.
do it.
I like that. Just you make that, and since I'm the one leading the charade, we'll go Pat 1, we'll go Matt 2, Ryan 3, Mark 4, me 5.
You gave yourself last, Mason.
That's right. That's because I'm a generous host.
And you wanted that 2 picks in a row.
Well, yeah.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. My bad.
That's the best spot to be in this 5-man draft. All right, there's only one correct answer, Patrick. Can we get it out of the way? Let's get it. Come on.
I'm going to get it out of the way.
Yep.
Especially with Mark's rules here that Mason has now endorsed.
Andy Bass.
But I was going to go either way. Either way with this guy. Jaden Action Jackson is my first pick in this.
What is wrong with
class.
You? I love it. Let him talk. What? Let him talk. Let him say it, Patrick. Go.
Yes, continue. The new definition of Oklahoma defense. He's the big D. This guy is going to be so NFL ready
in the entire world.
There's not a single offensive lineman who's going to want to go up against a guy like Jaden Action Jackson, even as a freshman. But man, if that guy's a junior or a senior in Oklahoma, man, he's going to make history. Could have the most sacks anyone's ever had at Oklahoma. Honestly, this guy is going to be incredible.
Jaden Jackson.
I love that as a first pick.
Jaden Jackson going 1-1. That's
Jaden Jackson going 1-1. So I think we got to give a little bit of context with each pick. So I think we should say where they're coming from and their measurables, right?
Yeah. So Jaden Action Jackson's come from IMG Academy because he's one of the best players in the country already. Okay. How big is he? He's a big D. I think he's at least like 320. I don't know.
He's 6'2", 300.
6'2", 300. But that's in high school, so there's chances for growth there, right, Pat?
Absolutely.
Oh, I definitely think that dude's growing. I think he's growing like width wise. I think your height is probably max, but I think his width is gonna increase.
Huge.
But yeah,
At that
like Pat
age,
said,
like, maybe
IMG
put the name
Academy.
Can't, can't
IMG
get over
Academy.
it. Can't get over that. That was the first pick. Anyway,
Look, we're
I
gonna
love
get
it,
some more
Patrick.
guys.
Hey, maybe you're right.
I
he
am
probably is. That's
We're
the
gonna
thing.
get
Right.
we're gonna get some more guys on the defensive line, but I'm fired up about this defensive line. I and Brent
Yeah.
Venables is too.
Oh, it's
So
hot.
it's gonna be a lot of fun. Okay, Matt Gann, go ahead.
Come on. I mean, Patrick, I love it. I love your enthusiasm. I was
Look
even
at
the one
him.
that came up with the nickname,
were?
Action Jackson. But I gotta go with his teammate. Consensus pick, David Stone, coming back home, 6'4", 275. I think this guy is going to have an immediate impact and be the player that everyone is hyping him up to be. I mean, there's a reason he's a top 10 player in his class, playing for IMG, coming back home to play for the Sooners and play for that defensive line. This guy is going to make an absolute huge impact going into the SEC. These are the types of guys that you want in your D line to create chaos, create problems in the backfield for opposing offenses. It's got to be David Stone. I'll take that as 1-2 all day long.
Great pick.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
all
good
pick.
pick.
And
It's a
another
good
guy,
pick, Pat says.
another
Jesus.
guy that like there was drama leading up to it, and then once he committed, there was none. There was no
None.
drama. And like it's just cool, a guy of that caliber who was just people were chirping at him constantly. Just like, hey, how committed are you? Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? And he's like, yep, I'm sure. Like that's pretty dope to me. And yeah,
And
he's
he fended off people,
yeah.
teams, schools.
Did we
bags.
say he's 6'4", 275?
Correct.
So we said-
Yeah, I did say that.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right,
stuff,
cool.
Matt.
All right. So Ryan, who you got?
Yeah, I'm in between like 3 right now, but I think I gotta go with Taylor Tatum, running back, 5'11", 205 from Longview, Texas. I think when we talked a lot about last year and what we were looking for, I think the running back room was something that we talked about a lot and that we needed more talent in the running back room. You know, Sawchuk came alive toward the end of the season, but we really just needed like more bodies that could just honestly be better running backs. I mean, that's what we talked about a lot. This dude has so much talent coming in. And when we were talking about the impact to OU, I think something important is that he's also going to play baseball. And that is a 2-sport athlete and highly rated on both sports teams. And I know we were all extremely concerned today when we were worried he might not be signing. And I think that goes to show the impact that we expect that this guy is going to make to this team. And coming in at a position that I think we really need some more support in. So I'm going to go with Tatum.
Also, just shout out to the freaking Twitter interaction merchants who I'm not going to name names, but want to like tweet out dumb emojis when Taylor Tatum hasn't signed yet. And then all of a sudden he signs and they're like, oh, well, I heard different information. No, you didn't. You're just an interaction merchant. You're a freaking liar. Like
Wouldn't
that's
be
so
us.
frustrating. That's
Wouldn't be
just it's so dumb that this is the era that we live in where you're just trying to like clickbait and get interactions and pretend like you're some insider when you're not. Like that's so stupid. The kid wanted to come to Oklahoma. He came to Oklahoma. And you tweeting some bullcrap emoji is so lame. It's so lame. I think this person tweeted that emoji and then he signed like 20 minutes later. It's unreal. It's crazy. Sorry.
So
It's on my pedestal.
Mason subtweet Prince out here.
Yeah,
Look,
Yeah.
that was a
it's
subtweet.
hot.
Yeah. I hope people just know who he's talking about. Oh, know who I'm talking about.
Oh,
All
I
right.
know who you're talking about.
Yeah. All right. Mark, who you got? Also, Taylor Tatum. Gonna be hella fun.
massive.
Like just
Yeah,
so,
we haven't
so
talked
fun.
enough.
Yeah.
We
Sorry.
veered
Yeah,
off
yeah.
track. Taylor Tatum he's so fast for his size, and he's only going to get stronger under the tutelage of Jerry Smith. and he's got the best running back coach in the country coaching him.
Hmm.
Don't be surprised, especially as a spring enrollee, if you don't see him pick up some of the slack if the other
He's not a
guys at
spring
running
enrollee.
back. He's not
No,
one of
he's
them.
playing high school baseball.
Playing baseball.
He's
Thanks,
got to play
Ryan.
high school baseball.
Oh, great point. Great
Yeah.
point. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
Then this harkens back to Gavin Sawchuk and Javonte Barnes. I bet he doesn't get a lot of early reps because of that. I bet you see Xavier Robinson maybe take some early reps because Javonte Barnes got those reps early and Gavin didn't, even though we saw this year Gavin might be the long-term guy. They really value those guys who enroll early on.
Yeah, they do. I freaking love Taylor Tatum. Also, for OU fans who may not know, I'm sure a lot of OU fans do know, he's the number one running back in the country. He's the highest rated running back OU has gotten since Adrian Peterson. Let that sink in for a moment. That's crazy to me. Like
Is he higher than Joe Mixon?
That's what I was going to ask.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
That's what I've saw.
number one
I saw
running
what
back in
Mason,
his spot
I
there,
saw what
and-
Mason saw as well. But it is surprising.
Yeah. I mean, Joe Mixon was a 5-star as well. I remember that, but I believe that he's the highest rated running back OU
might
has
be
gotten
like- it
since
might be
Adrian
like-
Peterson.
number wise or something.
Yeah,
like that.
maybe number wise or
Yeah,
whatever it is, but still highly, highly impressive. Shout out to the baseball team. Brent Venables in his press conference gave a massive shout out to the baseball team and their work in getting
Steal?
Taylor Tatum here as well.
and somebody else that we're going to talk about.
That's
So.
right. Exactly. So, all right, Mark, who you got, man?
Yeah, after those guys are gone, it becomes an easy one for me. I'm going to go Zion Kearney. This guy is 6'2", 210, wide receiver. He's might be the most under heralded piece of the class. He's consistently ranked the number 2 offensive prospect in the Oklahoma 2024 recruiting class. And if you're going to give me odds on any of these receivers in the class, and there's a handful of them, Emmett Jones really did a great job. But if you're going to give me odds on one of them breaking out and truly being a wide receiver 1 kind of guy for us, that's Zion Kearney. I think you're going to be able to throw him on the outside, have him run every route in the book, and he's going to be elite at doing it. He already has elite size. You can expect a little bit more growth there, and the route running is just going to improve. He's got great ball skills. He's physical at that size too. I think, look, especially getting him 4th in the entire thing, I'm winning picking Zion Kearney here.
No, you're not. All right, Ryan. Let's
No,
let's
Zion-
move on
It's not
here.
me.
No, Zion-
It's not me.
I'm winning at the
Mace.
4th spot. That's all
No,
I'm
I'm
You're
excited.
not. There's
I'm
too many.
excited.
There's too many. Good
The only
guys in
person
this
that's won
class.
so far is Gann getting Stone in the 2nd spot.
I'm
Can you imagine how he felt when Patrick said Jaden Action Jackson?
Yeah. Zion Kearney, I'm really looking forward to, really, because he's a 6'2" wide receiver, gives you kind of a big target to throw to. That's a lot of fun for me. Anyone else on Zion before I make my picks?
Do it, baby.
Okay. All right.
Go.
So my first pick is going to be Eugene Brooks, interior offensive lineman out of Sierra Canyon
Great
High
pick.
School,
God,
I like
Chatsworth,
it.
California.
That's a great pick.
6'4". Listen to this. This is my favorite part about this kid. He's 6'4", 320. When asked what he sees himself playing at OU, he said to the interviewer, they have tackles who are 6'7" and 6'8". I'm gonna play guard. Like, the dude knows what he's there for, right? He's there to be an interior offensive lineman. He's not there to try to compete for a tackle job or grasp at straws. He's focused on the task at hand. He's focused on being a big guard and doing the work for Bill Bedenbaugh. I'm excited about that guy, man. The offensive line and the defensive line, this is how you're going to win in the SEC. And the defensive lineman we have and the offensive lineman we have is so, so important. And I'm so glad that this staff recognizes this. And that's what they went after with this class. You see it with Eddie Pierre-Louis. That's massive as well. So, yeah, that's my first pick. Anybody on him before I make my second?
It's a great pick. It's a great pick, especially with a lot of our offensive linemen transferring or going to the drafts. I mean, this is a guy that's a plug and play, I believe, day one, especially with Caden Green leaving.
Yeah. And Matt, that's a great point. They're not afraid to play young guys. They're not. If you go in there and you're ready to go, you're going to get reps. Like, they're not scared to do that at all.
No, they feel confident in some of the young guys they have. And if you can come in and beat them out, they're going to play you. Like, they just are. That's how it was with Caden Green this year.
Yeah. You talk about guys who are going to have an immediate impact. To me, a guy who's going to have impact from the moment he steps on campus is Devon Mitchell.
Oh, you suck.
Dude, 6'4", 245, Los Alamitos High School in California. This dude is going to be a GD problem for people. He's a matchup nightmare. 6'4", 245. That's crazy. That's dumb in high school. You're freaking 17 or 18.
And he reclassified.
Dumb. Yes. And
So
he
he's
reclassified. And he's going to get in there with Schmitty. He's going to get even bigger, stronger, faster. Dude, I cannot explain to you how excited I am to have a dude that size. Oh, when's the last time you had a Mark Andrews?
Yeah.
Like, Mark Andrews, the last tight end you can look at to be like, he was a weapon and we utilized him. And Mark Andrews was what? 6 years ago? 5 years ago at this point? That's insane. For a school that has the tight end pedigree that OU has, whether you want to admit it or not, Blake Bell's still playing in the NFL. And he's got a couple Super Bowl rings to his name. Jermaine Gresham, another. Mark Andrews, another. They have tight ends. They've produced tight ends. And I'm really excited to see what this offense is how they're going to feature the tight end, because we know, whether it was by design or not, Jeff Lebby didn't really feature tight ends. So to see what this new offense is going to look like, what they scheme up for Devon Mitchell, I guarantee you that dude is going to get every opportunity to play as a true freshman. Every opportunity.
I know we're not talking about transfers, but we also got to transfer tight end. So
We
that
did.
makes me think this offense might utilize them a bit more.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's probably a recruiting pitch on the trail for sure.
Great.
Anybody
pitch,
on
Mason.
Mitchell?
Yeah,
Great
I mean,
pitch.
Davin, it was a huge get, especially because we don't have a lot of depth in that room currently. So, in my opinion, this kid's already almost NFL ready. I don't know if you guys have seen this video of him, like the ball, it's like a really badly thrown ball, and he just catches it with one hand, basically like over the top of his head.
I mean, yeah, he's a stud.
Absurd.
He's a
He
stud.
is insane. Absolute stud. Guy could start by Tulsa, and I'm looking forward to it. Not
I'm fired
Tulsa,
up.
Tulane. Sorry.
Tulane, there you
He
go.
could start week one.
100%.
He
That's
could,
what
he
I'm
could
saying.
legitimately start week one. You look at the
Yeah.
tight end room, and it's basically him, Cade McIntyre. We've got a transfer we're going to talk about later, Power Sharp. And I mean, who else do y'all think is really in that running? We haven't seen Caden Helms on the field yet. Jason Llewellyn, my personal crush in the tight end
Mhm.
room, hit the portal. I don't even know where he's landed. Devon Mitchell is easily the most talented guy left in that room. And the only thing is going to be, how quickly do you pick up the offense? How quickly do you pick up the addition of speed and strength in college football, right? How does he adapt? How does he transition? He's doing it a year early, and that's kind of tough.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Mark. I'm not laughing at you. I was laughing at Patrick trying this.
I know.
His camera.
He's crushing it.
Yeah, he's killing it. Matt, anything to add before we get to Mark's pick? All right, Mark, go ahead with your second pick.
Yeah, I'm going with Nigel Smith, guys.
Yeah.
Damn it.
6'5",
Yeah.
260 out of Melissa High School. I mean, if you're going to put bets in on any of these defensive linemen making an impact and making the kind of impact where maybe not as a freshman, but as a sophomore and as a junior, and then maybe you stay a senior year, Nigel Smith is a bet I want to make. Because I could see someone like Jaden Jackson put the size on, have a dominant couple of years, go to the league. I could see David Stone have a dominant couple of years, go to the league. I think someone like Nigel Smith is going to really flourish from the coaching he's going to receive from Todd Bates, Miguel Chavis, Brent Venables. There's no one better at putting defensive linemen into the league, save for like your Alabamas and your Georgias, right? But I think that Nigel Smith is a bet I want to make here, knowing I'm not going to get like, a pick and 6 more picks. Nigel Smith is my guy.
It's a great pick, Mark. It's a great pick.
Solid pick. Power line, man. I don't think, obviously, not all the guys are going to pan out, like just by sheer numbers wise, right? Like, it's just not, they're not all going to pan out. But I feel pretty confident that David Stone, Jaden Jackson, and Nigel Smith are going to be hits in some form or fashion. Like, I feel quite confident that those 3 have a solid opportunity.
They're guys you build the class around.
Yeah. I agree. Ryan?
My turn?
Yep.
I am gonna pick Eddie Pierre-Louis out of Tampa. And I'm doing that specifically for all the reasons that Mason picked Eugene Brooks. He is 6'3", 320. He's an inch shorter than Brooks.
Dumb.
That size and how desperately we need help on the offensive line, like you guys have mentioned. I mean, almost maybe an immediate impact. The only problem here is he isn't a mid-year enrollee. So it might take him a little while to get ready. But I think when we're looking at the end of things, with what we've seen development-wise in our offensive line, I don't know how you don't develop a body like that personally. Like, that size is fantastic. So all the reasons that Mason already said, but that's why I would pick Eddie.
Did you see what he
track video?
Yes,
the track video, right?
The track video.
I'm
The track
shocked you
video.
didn't mention it, Ryan. It's
I know.
amazing.
I saw
watching
it.
him. He's a different kind of human being than those other guys running, and he dusts them.
He ripped 225 on bench press.
I was like, that's a big boy running down the track.
He repped 225 on bench press like 29 times or something like that. Something
Crazy.
Stupid.
Nuts.
That's dumb. That's so crazy.
Yeah, it was like an NFL combine.
Yes.
Great.
It's NFL combine numbers as a high school kid.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of these kids that we're mentioning are physical freaks. It's really just
and that's what you need.
Yes,
that's what you need going in the SEC.
It's going to be about developing these kids, making sure that they learn the football aspect of the game. Because you can go out there and be as athletic as everybody else. Look, Texas A&M showed us that. But if you don't develop these guys, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. And that's what we see. Georgia and Alabama get these guys in and develop them into NFL prospects. Those guys don't roll into Tuscaloosa ready to play in the NFL. Like, they spend time 3 years in Nick Saban's system and then they're ready. Like, these guys have the tools. It's about developing, and I'm excited to see what happens.
I think a good analog is Savion Byrd, who was himself a 4 or 5 star, depending on where you looked.
Yeah.
And all the best luck to him in the entire world at SMU. I hope it works out. But if Bill Bedenbaugh in Oklahoma cannot make you the star lineman that your talents say you should be, then I don't know who can. And Eddie Pierre-Louis at guard is that kind of talent. Like, getting him with Bedenbaugh is money, money, money.
Yep. Okay, Matt.
Well, it's my turn again. I'm going to take someone from Mason's backyard.
Okay.
Oh, we know who this is.
Edge, 6'4", 241.
Wait, you said that right. I'm proud of you.
I know.
Thank you. I've actually been practicing in the mirror all night to say that because I knew you would come my way. Danny is a freak of an athlete. And what OU hasn't had in the last few years is really someone getting after the quarterback. And I think he and Ethan Downs are going to be a good complement to each other, that DN rotation. This guy should be able to get after the quarterback, especially against SEC offenses, and create a lot of chaos in the backfield. This is the guy I'm looking for to come in and really make a good impact, especially if what we're talking about, the other defensive line guys do their job. Danny Okoye is going to have a field day against some of these offensive linemen. I'm looking for this guy to make a pretty big immediate impact, or at least a good rotational player as well.
I'm really hoping that he makes the jump to college ball quickly, because he went to this school called Noah, which is Northern Oklahoma at home. And folks, I looked at their schedule today, and even for Oklahoma standards, they didn't play nobody. And like he's been beating up on schools his entire time at Noah. And I just hope he doesn't show up to Norman and it's like kind of a culture shock on the field where you're like, oh, I'm not playing against a right tackle who is a bum and weighs 235, right? Like I'm curious how he's going to adapt to that. But I think he has all the physical tools to do it. I really do.
To speak to the physical tools, he also plays wide receiver for Noah at 6'4", 241, right? I don't, to your point, Mason, I think it probably takes a year for Danny, but golly, what a just block of clay.
Oh yeah. Again, you don't miss on in-state guys like that. You can't. Not anymore. Not anymore. You can't. All right, Patrick, you get 2.
Awesome. Do I? Oh, I get 2. All right, perfect. My next one is Ivan Carrion. Ivan, 6'6", 196 from Odessa, Texas. We always talk about bigger, faster, stronger. Give me taller too. I cannot wait to see what Emmett Jones does with this guy. Having that large amount of size in the wide receiver room and being 6'6", really hope we can unleash him. And I'm really looking forward to it.
A little bit of tight end potential there too.
He's so tall.
Like even just in certain packages, you can make use of a 6'8" guy
where
you can't really make use of a 6'5" guy. Sure.
Yeah. I hear what
He's
you're
6'6". I'm sorry.
He will be, baby. He will be, baby. My bad.
Yeah,
I don't know where I got that from. But
No, I like
6'6".
any-
It's fine. He's tall.
I really just made that up. I don't know where I got that.
So you're going to need speed in the SEC, but you're also going to need size. I think that's a really good point, Patrick. That's something that you can't shake away because these defensive backs that you're going against in the SEC are NFL ready guys. Like they are guys who are going to get drafted, and the NFL does not draft corners and safeties 5'10". They draft them at like 6'1". So you got to have big bodies to be ready to go. And I'm curious to see how that develops. Absolutely. Who's your second pick, Pat?
Second pick is Wyatt Gilmore, best player in Minnesota.
Fun.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Drop the Y in Wyatt. He's just as good as JJ Watt. He's the next JJ Watt, baby.
Oh my God.
No. Stop.
Oh, I love it.
Please stop.
No, I mean, I think his Twitter handle is QB Crusher or something like that.
I love that.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. He's going to be so good for Oklahoma, and he's going to crush some QBs.
That's fun to me. Getting a guy from Minnesota like that, just going up there, getting a Big Ten kind of body like that, and just being able to put him on that line. Again, we keep bringing it up, but God, dude, the defensive line is fun, man. It's just going to be fun for the next 2 years to kind of see how these guys develop. I'm just really excited. I'm pumped.
Wyatt Gilmore feels like another 3 or 4 year player to me. Someone who's going to come in, really get better every single year. And I don't know if he starts his freshman year, his sophomore year, maybe even his junior year, but by his senior year, if he's still around, that seems like a player that is going to develop, and just be better. Patrick, I hate you.
You liked it, didn't you? You liked
it.
I like it a lot. I like it a lot. It's good value here for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Matt Gann, back to you.
Well. Back to the old grindstone. To continue my team, I'm going to take another defensive player, but on the back end, I'm going to go safety Reggie Powers, who's a top 170 in the nation from Dayton, Ohio. He is the 7th ranked player in Ohio at his position. 6'1", 200 pounds. If you think about, and there's 2 other safeties that we've gotten in this class, those 3 guys, especially this guy, to play in the rotation with Peyton Bowen, Billy Bowman, who's coming back. You add this guy into the rotation, that is a very, very good safety group with the other 2 safeties that are coming in as well. But I think this guy is going to really get into the rotation, play quite a bit. He's got the size. Obviously, he can continue to fill out, but starting at 6'1", 200, man, one off season with Smitty, get him in the gym, get him in the weight room, and he's going to be ready to play along with those guys. So really looking for another good addition to the safety room with this guy, Reggie Powers.
Yeah, I'm pumped. I like the size back at safety like that. That's good to me. I'm all for size in the secondary, as I just previously mentioned.
Am I next?
I think
you're next. Oh, go ahead, Mark.
Well, just real fast on Reggie Powers. It applies to any of the safeties here, but like clearly there's a plan for bringing guys along in that room. I mean, Peyton Bowen aside, because Peyton Bowen's transcendent, but Robert Spears-Jennings doesn't play as a freshman. He plays as a sophomore, though. As guys phase out of that room, someone like Reggie Powers, he committed during the Kansas loss. And so I think we've all lost sight of just how big of an ad Reggie Powers is. But yeah, bringing him into that room is massive. Great pick, Matt. Yeah.
Thank you.
Make sure.
All right, Ty.
Okay, I'm gonna go with arguably the biggest name in the class, Michael Hawkins, at QB. From Dallas, Texas, 6'2", 195, technically Emerson High School. And the reason I'm picking Michael is not for his instant, what he can bring instantly to OU, because we've talked extensively on this pod that all of us are very, very excited for the Jackson Arnold era. But with us losing DG this year, him transferring to Oregon, we don't really have a clear backup going into this next season. And we've seen that happen before 2 years ago when we lost DG and we threw in a couple different people and it didn't work, right? So that we're still with those people at this point. So Michael comes in as an extremely talented athlete, but also a safety net for us in case Jay gets hurt or anything happens that we don't want to happen, but is very possible to happen. But also I'm picking him because I think he has an impact on you just on OU on just like a cultural level too. A QB is always going to be seen as the leader of the class, and usually they have to act like that. And he's going to be learning, from Jackson Arnold, who's also young, both going into the SEC, learning together. And I think all of that wrapped up in him developing. And I know we have a quarterback coming in the next year, which we're also really excited about. But I think him developing that alongside of Jackson Arnold is going to turn him into somebody who impacts this team further down the road in really great ways. So, Michael Hawkins.
My question about Michael Hawkins is just how patient can you be?
He's really good, and I don't know how patient he can be. But
that's kind of where I'm at. Just
if JA is as good as we think he is, he'll be there for 2 years.
Yeah. Well, also, if you believe the rumors, Jeff Levy had a conversations with Hawkins about going to Mississippi State, and Hawkins decided to continue to go to Oklahoma. So it seems like he is locked in and could be that patient guy, if you believe the rumors.
You believe the rumors.
Yeah.
If you believe them. Mark, I interrupted you.
No, you didn't. I was wondering where Michael Hawkins would go, right? He's sort of the X factor in a draft like this, but something Ryan didn't mention is just like the world where Jackson Arnold isn't able to get it done.
Yeah, that can happen too.
That's a possibility. Out of all the 5 stars that get signed every year, I would say a majority of them don't get it done at their first school. I think that we've seen that happen. So while we're all high on the Jackson Arnold train, and I am too, this is a really good pick, Ryan. I was wondering where he'd come off the board.
Yep. I think it's a good one.
I think he's a sleeper just because you got JA on one side and then what's his name coming in 25. Yeah, Kevin Sperry coming in 25.
Yep. All right, Mark.
Yeah. My 3rd round pick is going to be Jaden Hardy for all of the reasons that Matt said about Reggie Powers. I don't have too much else to add except that I think Jaden Hardy comes in a little bit smaller. He's 5'10", 165. You probably expect him to play solely the free safety, deep roaming position. He's not going to be in the box too much, but he is a absolutely highly regarded recruit. I'm not sure if I said he's 5'11", 165. Did I say 5'10"? It doesn't matter. He's a little bit smaller guy, so what he does is going to be a little bit more limited, but I think he can have a big impact, and I'm really excited to see him fight and claw for reps in that safety room that we all think is just getting stronger. So yeah, give me my guy Jaden Hardy, Louisville, Texas.
Love it. I'm going back to back here.
Back to back, baby.
First off, Zion, did we decide Ragans or Ragans?
It's Ragans, but we call them Ragans because we're Ragans for Ragans.
Love it. Okay,
we're
so
for
Zion,
Ragans.
Zion Ragans, 5'7", 150, Jones County High School, out of Gray, Georgia. Well, I used to live there. Shout out 478. Shout out Middle Georgia. Really beautiful place. That kid is effing fast.
He is
effing fast, like a greyhound. That's his high school mascot. Like a greyhound. He is fast as all get out. 5'7", 150. You're going to see that the size doesn't pop off. That's fine. They're going to find ways to utilize this guy. I'm not saying he's going to be, but look for an example at Tyreek Hill for how he was used at Oklahoma State. Very big in the return game, and then used in the slot, utilized in the slot for OSU. I think that could be kind of the niche that he carves out at OU, being kind of the return specialist and also being a little bit of a gadget slot guy to get moving in open space. That'd be huge. No pun intended. But yeah, I would I'd watch out for Zion. I think he could be a whole lot of fun. Whole lot of fun.
It feels like a similar bet as what we've made on Jaquez Petaway. Right.
Yep.
And maybe you get them both on the field. Maybe I'm wrong about the kind of archetypes these guys would play, but it's a good bet. It's a good bet because you're right. He's effing fast.
Yeah. Whatever we got to do to get Gavin Freeman to not return kicks, that's what I'm in favor of. So yeah, let's do that. So my second pick is going to be Isaiah Autry. Isaiah Autry, 6'7", 300 pounds, out of offensive tackle out of Fulton, Mississippi. I got 2 words for this guy: caloric surplus. Put on some weight. Be about
Jesus.
if he can put on about 20 more pounds, 6'7", 320. That's awesome, dude. I'm about it. That's a freaking SEC offensive tackle. That would be so sick. I'm excited about how he can develop and get better. And I'm excited for Bill Bedenbaugh to get in a workout with him and see how he can kind of mold him. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Do I get to go twice again?
He already
just
did. That
did.
was
I
the
picked 2.
second
I
one.
don't know
No,
why
no,
you think it's your turn.
No, it's Mark.
I don't-
Oh,
I'm not sure
That-
where
Gosh, I was excited.
you
I know.
even came close to
Pat's
that.
Pat's on the clock.
You
here,
still
so
you
he's
still
like-
got a little while, Pat.
Actually,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
you
we
got a
need that.
long time.
We need to push through this
Yeah.
rather quickly.
No, it's
Pat's
fine,
gotta
don't
leave
worry.
soon.
It's fine.
Okay.
Oh shoot, you're right.
okay.
All right, I'm
Go
gonna
for
go
it.
James Nesta with my 4th round pick.
Ooh.
He's,
Fun.
he's another
Obviously.
2-sport athlete, and today in his press conference after the signings, he was the only player that Brent Venables compared to Danny Stutzman. He comes in 6'2", 205. He was highly recruited by schools like Miami and North Carolina. Out of, give me one sec. James is out of North Carolina, Cornelius, North Carolina. So to bring him away from local ties like that, regional ties like that, I think is a pretty big deal. And we're not bringing him in at linebacker to split time with baseball if Brent Venables doesn't see a lot in this athlete, in this athletic profile, and what he's got with James Nesta. Guarantee you he's going to see the field. Maybe not next year, but moving forward. James Nesta, my 4th round pick.
I like it.
Great pick.
Ryan?
I'm gonna go Eli Bowen.
Fun.
5'9", 165 Denton Geyer. He is the second smallest out of the 27 that we have behind Zion. look, he's no Peyton Bowen. He's no Peyton, but the genes are still there. And I think he's going to be a lot of fun. Maybe not immediately. Again, I think as we get to this point, we're talking more about like people who are going to have really big impacts later on. I just think there's potential there, and I'm excited to see what he can bring to the table. So
If the football instinct gene is passed down, I'm about it.
yeah,
I'm
we don't,
all
and I
in.
don't know if we know that exactly yet, and he might just need to develop more than Peyton needed to. But I think they're there. The genes are there, so
And
hopefully,
the funny thing is we're talking about like developing guys, and it's kind of had like a negative connotation sometimes. But to Brent Venables and this staff, development is everything.
yeah,
Getting these guys to develop and be good players when they're juniors and seniors is what this program is supposed to be built on. Like that, so that's going to be very, very important. So I like the kind of tone we're setting here. All right, Matt.
Yeah, I'm going to go across the pond for this one.
That
was my next pick.
Daniel A. I'm not going to.
Come on,
Akinkumi.
Akinkumi.
Akinkumi, 6'4.5", 310 pounds, coming from the NFL Academy in London, England. At this point, I think very similar to what Mason said about Autry. Just a ball of clay for Bill B to work with this guy in. And again, there's a lot of positions opened on the offensive line with a lot of departures. So love the size. Let's see how this fits in, but very exciting to go across the pond and get a guy like this.
Love it. All right, Patrick, give us your two back to back, brother.
Oh, that's it. Okay, perfect. This guy fell way, way, way too low. Way too low, guys. That's on us. I'll take full responsibility for all of this.
You already took Jackson.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
All
Xavier Robinson. The
Fun.
impact he will have over the next 4 years is going to be incredible for us. He's going to he's going to be everything maybe Marcus Major should have been. He's going to be our next Samaje Perine potentially as a junior or a senior. He's big. He's fast. He makes everyone else on the field look like a little kid right now in high school in all of his highlights. I'm so excited for him. He might not be our most flashy, highly recruited running back, but he's someone who will be a steady hand in that room and can easily break out to become a Samaje type guy down the road. So Xavier Robinson, and I'll tell my second, you guys can talk about my last two because I got to bounce, but Jeremiah Newcomb from Queen Creek, Arizona, 4-star, 6th best player in Arizona, cornerback. I think he's got a lot of potential here, and I'm really excited for him as well. Really fast, really good, really big, really strong. All right, keep pushing it, and I will talk to you guys soon.
Love that. Thank you, Pat. Appreciate it, man.
See ya.
Yeah, Jeremiah Newcomb, one that I'm interested to see as well.
Definitely.
That's I find myself as we continue through this podcast, like the adventure that is this podcast, almost 3 years old to this point, finding myself leaning more in on like the offensive line and the defensive backs to like guys that I like really hone in on and want to see develop. It's fun. I'm learning things about myself. But yeah, he's a guy I'll keep tabs on.
The interesting thing is like something I've zeroed in on it too more since starting the podcast. Offensive line, defensive line, and your defensive backs. Like those are the things you can't replace with just dudes. Like there's a bunch of dudes at running back. There's a bunch of dudes at wide receiver. There's not as many dudes along the trenches and the D-backs.
You have to be, if you're going to be a great football team, that's where you have to be great. Is those three positions.
Hey, we're seeing that in the NFL with salaries and stuff, and
we are.
Running backs dropping. Wide receivers not so much, but running backs for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%. Matt Gann, back to you.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the defensive side of the ball. I'm going to go another safety, the final safety in this class, Mikael Patterson McDonald, coming from Westmore High School, just south of Oklahoma City, 5'9.5", 175. What me and Mark talked about, since me and him have both covered all the safeties in this class. I think just adding depth pieces at that position, playing along with some of those guys. Billy Bowman coming back is the best thing ever to happen to the defense and to the safety room. I only think these guys coming in are going to learn from Billy and from Peyton Bowman this year, and hopefully just, again, have a good rotation of guys playing that position if they're able and ready. We'll see if some of these guys in this class can make that impact right away.
I saw Michael play this year one time. Liked what I saw from him. Dude's an athlete. He's a lot of fun to watch. Boots on the ground to see him play. So I like this pick, Matt. He doesn't have the height that pops out on you, but his football acumen on the field is a lot of fun. The dude's always around the ball, and that's something you got to have with a defensive back and a safety like he is. Right, Ty?
He's a guy that's going to come in and make plays on special teams before he even plays on defense. And he's an Oklahoma guy. You want to get these guys in. Ryan, go ahead. I sort of.
No, you're fine.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
No, I'm gonna pick another Oklahoma guy. And I have to pick him because he's from Edmond. I am also from Edmond, in case anyone's curious. But I got to pick Josh Isosa.
Yep, Josh Isosa.
Offensive line, 6'4", 305. We've talked significantly about the offensive line. I think this guy, I think Josh, if he puts on some weight, I think especially, he's gonna be great. But the one thing that I wanted to touch on here is I'm counting 4 offensive line signees today. Every single one of them above 300 pounds, which I think is a really good direction for us to go when we're moving into the SEC.
I agree.
So even though, I just think Bill especially is really good at developing talent that you might not think is there, but is there, right? And it's underneath something. And I think somebody like this could be the next guy up for Bill to develop into someone special. So I'm really excited about this offensive line class, especially after what we've been through, I guess, as a team the last couple months on the offensive line. It seems dramatic, but so that's why I'm gonna go with Josh.
I've seen Josh play twice this season. Boots on the ground for him.
Boots on the ground, baby.
Dude is a dog. High motor, like getting after it type of offensive lineman. I'm pumped, man. He's going to be fun. He's going to be a lot of fun because that's the kind of dude you need in the interior offensive line. Just with all due respect, an asshole. That's kind of what you need, man. And I'm about it. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Look at all of Bill Bedenbaugh's like highly drafted players or even just drafted players, right? They're not all top 5-star recruits. He gets the most out of guys like this and turns them into NFL players. So especially in round 5 of a 5-round draft, this is wonderful value, Ryan. Great job.
Wonderful value.
All right, Mark.
Yeah, I've had a hard time with this, looking at it. We've got a list in the outline. Everyone knows we got to have something we're going off of, right? And so I'm between 2, and I would love the opportunity to talk about it after if the second guy doesn't get drafted. But I'm gonna go Michael Boganowski. He fits into everything we've said about the safety position already, and also he is probably the best equipped player in this class to move over to the cheetah position if the coaches see that as the right move. He played safety in high school. He played linebacker in his most recent All-Star game. He is signing as a safety, but just the physical build of a 6'2", 205 guy in this defense, I think he's going to have multiple opportunities, whether it's at safety, whether it's at cheetah, whether he really bulks up and ends up at linebacker. All of these things are on the board for him, and I think that Michael Boganowski is someone I'm absolutely going to bet on here in the 5th round.
Yeah, I agree. He was the guy that I was going to go with, so you beat me to the punch there. But To me, Boganowski reeks of put some weight on. We need you to play linebacker. Like that's what I kind of feel with him. Because I agree, he's 6'2", 205. I think if he adds, 10, 15 more pounds, which folks is not a lot for a dude who's going into his first Division I football
18
weight
years old.
program. Yeah.
18 years
Like
old. That's gotta be
he'll put on 10 pounds with no issue whatsoever.
accidental.
Guys, I lost 15 pounds my freshman year of college, and when I
Whoa.
went to
Hey
Dell.
Ryan, no one's really like asking you for what your freshman year was like. Okay,
Lex.
So it's
superstar
so it's
athletes like Michael
possible.
Boganowski and Mason
That's-
Prince.
I was an athlete. What are you talking about?
You were. Oh, that was freaking funny. That was so good. But yeah, I think seeing him a linebacker wouldn't surprise me at all. Okay, so I need 2 now. All right, and I'm rounding us out. Or no, I need 1. I'm rounding us
You
out.
seem
That's
So,
right.
okay, here's something I wanted to hit on. Do we want to draft, if we had Patrick, we could get 6-man teams if we drafted the PWOs too. Do we want to introduce them, or do we want to go just 5-2?
No, we'll just
I
go
think
5.
we should just do 5.
Let's go 5.
We'll just go 5.
Cool.
Let's go
It's
5.
why I bring it up, so
Yeah.
that we can talk this out in real time, baby.
No worries.
Yeah, we'll cut that.
So,
We'll cut that out.
that's 5 for you, Mace. I think so. Do we want to talk about
Is it?
the
Yeah.
3 guys?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think there's 3 guys that are left.
Yeah. So Devin Jordan,
Yep.
Devon Jordan.
I think
He's 5'11", 168 out of Union High School in Tulsa. I've seen him play this year. Another athlete. He's pretty solid. Not pretty solid. I mean, he's signing to play football. Like he's a good football player. So he's got to develop into a physical specimen, but I'm excited what the raw talent is there. He's got really good ball skills. So it should be fun for sure. Who the other 2 I'm missing?
we got
KJ Daniels. KJ Daniels, a
Yep.
5'9", 150 wide receiver from Franklinton, Louisiana. And then we have
Brendan Zerberg,
Brendan
quarterback.
Brendan Zerbrug, Alliance, Ohio, quarterback, 6'4", 185. So that's the 27 signed. Any thoughts on those 3 guys that we just rattled off?
I think this is I think all 3 of them are talented, right? And so just because they were quote unquote last for us to pick doesn't mean that they're not. I think this class top to bottom is pretty talented.
Oh yeah. I mean, with our luck, Brendan Zerbrug's going to beat all of them out. And
who knows, man?
And be a Heisman
Who
quarterback.
knows?
That's. But yeah, it's a fun class, man. A lot of fun. Like we said, number 8 composite for this class as it stands right now. I don't know. I'm just going to ask, has Terry Bussey signed yet? I didn't see anything yet.
I thought they said he was going to sign in February.
He may. I don't know. I
thought that's what I heard.
I don't know. The more the time goes on is all I'm saying. The more the time goes on, the more interesting it gets. But
I do think he's a February guy, but the fact that Oklahoma only signed officially, I mean, look, you signed a good receiver class, but there's always room.
There's always room.
There's
always
always
room for
room
sure.
for
Did
Terry
you see what
Bussey.
he did in the state championship?
Give
Dumb.
me that Bussey, boy.
Dumb. That guy's freaking good. That guy's really good. Okay. So the 5 transfers we wanted to touch on, I wanted to give everybody a chance because I think Mark wanted to mention something about Bauer Sharp.
Did we hit on the PWOs too?
No. Andy Bass. Who's the other 2?
Bergen Kaiser and Ace
Thank you.
Hodges, both defensive linemen. I think we got a diamond in the rough with Bergen Kaiser. And I almost picked Andy Bass. I almost picked Andy Bass with my last pick because
Okay.
I think he's a guy who's going to stick around and prove to be everything they thought Gavin Freeman might. Plus, he sort of has a live arm. For a running back, a very live arm, right? He's not a quarterback at Oklahoma, but you can maybe scheme some stuff up that could look pretty fun.
He's a trickster. I see him as
He's
like
a
a,
trickster.
they can throw him in there on multiple different things. Is he going to be good after his ACL tear? Didn't he
Who
tear his
knows,
ACL?
man?
Okay.
Who
All right.
has
Let's
any
continue.
idea?
He's young. He's young. He'll bounce back from
Yeah.
that. He'll bounce back from that easily. He'll be okay. Okay, the 5 transfers I wanted to touch on. Tight end Bauer Sharp from Southeastern Louisiana transfers in. Running back Sam Franklin from UT Martin, 5'10", 200. We got Deion Burks, 5'11", 195 wide receiver from Purdue. 6'2", 200-pound cornerback Dejon Malone from San Diego State. And then 6'6", 295 offensive tackle Spencer Brown from Michigan State. All coming in via the transfer portal. Commits. They're commits though, right? Have they even signed? I don't know if they've signed or not yet.
I don't remember how the transfer portal
I don't know
works.
how it works either.
They said committed, but I don't know if there's like an official signature on a page.
I don't know. We benefited from this with the Dylan Gabriel thing, but I still don't know the rules for it.
I don't know.
I know. Yeah, I don't know either. I think they just show up. Well, and they have to enroll.
They have to enroll. I do know that.
Like
until they enroll and like start class.
Yeah. So
like they're free to go.
It's even like
want.
Dylan enrolled at UCLA. But
he didn't go to class though.
It's something about your attendance. He just skipped class that day.
So weird.
Bad student Dylan Gabriel. Good luck, Oregon.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. That's the class so far.
Fun teams, man.
A lot of
tweet
good.
This shit out. It's gonna be good.
It's
a lot of good stuff.
I'll engage with this.
Yeah, engage with us.
Burks and Malone, those are huge transfers. Burks is going to really add some good depth to the wide receiver room, and Malone will probably be a first-day starter or cornerback.
Slowly but surely,
it's coming together.
This wide receiver room is pretty freaking scary, man.
It's good. Now, is our quarterback going to have enough time to throw to them?
That's the question. That's the question.
What's scary, Mason?
Pretty freaking scary. What did I say effing? Did I say the real word?
I didn't hear you.
We're not going to bring that up. Anyway,
I don't know if I did.
It really is. Like, you've got 2 Zions coming in. Deion Burks comes in and can fill a role, kind of like Marvin Mims, kind of like what we might have expected some of our faster, lighter of feet Brennan Thompson types to be this year. Hey, man. If he can bring more yards after the catch and catch stuff shorter too, like we've seen him do at Purdue, that's a gigantic ad. Matt Gann, I'm really glad you brought him up.
Yep. I love it. Let us know down below in the comments who of the class you want or who you like the most. We read every single one of your comments, like interacting with you guys. Matt, are we going to circle real quick?
Yeah, I can make it real quick. I know we're really pushing.
We're up against the clock here. We're trying to watch OU and UNC play tonight.
Just tipped off.
So go ahead, Matt.
Just tipped. Women's basketball 6-4, current losing streak of 2. You recently lost to UNLV and number 24 UNC or North Carolina last night. Or 2 nights ago, if you're listening to the pod today, hopefully they'll bounce back against Southern, who is currently 1-8. Men's basketball 10-0, ranked number 7 for the first time since I believe April of 2020 and 2021 season. So good for them. Moser is finally proven. But tonight's game will be a good barometer of how good this team is. They beat Arkansas in the Crimson and Cream Classic. They won 2 out of 3. That happens in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Obviously, the series has ended. Beat Green Bay. Big game tonight. And then men's and women's gym will be starting up soon. OU baseball is 60 days away. Softball isn't too far behind. And golf, Blaine Hale Jr. earned his PGA Tour card this past weekend, former OU golf alum. That is the quickest circle the wagons.
That was great.
OU men's basketball.
That is the quickest you've ever satisfied me.
Yeah,
that's right.
OU men's basketball beat Providence a couple weeks ago. Providence just beat number 6 Marquette. That's a good resume builder.
That's been the biggest thing. Yeah, it's the biggest thing against OU's men's basketball. They haven't played anybody yet, but that will be a really good big one for a strength of schedule. That's a huge win for Providence.
Yep. All right. PGP MVP of the week time. Let us know down below in the comments who's your PGP MVP of the week. Ryan, we'll start with you, man.
Oh God. Can you pick me last?
Yeah, I will. I'll go ahead and start. My MVP of the week is Boston Eugene Prince. My dog. He's 5 years old today. He's the best dog in the entire world. My friend, shout out my friend Jake Pierce, found him on the side of the road in 2019 when he was just a little puppy, scared, stray. And I tell you this to tell you that even dogs you find on the side of the road can be the best dogs that you ever have. You don't have to go to a breeder. You can find them anywhere if you want. And I'm not saying breeding dogs are bad. I'm just saying don't be afraid to go after the dogs who don't have a home. They love you regardless. Boston rocks. Boston's the man. That's my PGP MVP of the week. Boston Eugene, happy birthday.
How do you even go after that? I guess I'll do it.
Oh, it's fine. It's not even that big of a deal.
The biggest loser here. I'm going to go holiday PTO. Finally get some time off. It's been a hard-earned year. My back hurts from carrying my team, and excited to close the laptop for a couple of weeks and head back home where I belong. Because home,
where I belong. Hold on. Wait.
Yeah,
I'm not going to engage in that.
Anyway. Holiday PTO.
Love that. Okay. Mark?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Caden Green. I'm not sure, other than immediate monetary gratification, that this was the right move. And I'm going to leave it at that. But it's an LVP, not an MVP. So that's all I got, and I'll leave it there.
I love it. Okay, Ryan, who's your MVP?
I think I'm going to go LVP again because for the third week in a row, the Minnesota Vikings are trash, and I hate them. And somehow they are still in the playoff hunt, which I don't understand.
The Packers are just as bad.
It's like they can't close out a game, and the two games before that were the worst two NFL games I've ever seen in my life. So we'll just keep giving them the L. So
keep giving them the L. Okay, until they win a game. And with that, episode number 102 is in the books. Be sure to like, subscribe on our YouTube channel. You can find us on all of our social media at Program Guys with a Z. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all that good stuff. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Cost you $0. That's going to do it, folks. We'll see you soon because the bowl game is next week. We'll have a show before the bowl game to break down the preview for you, and we'll see you then. That's going to do it. Mark, take us out.
Keep pushing it, baby.
Nice. Go Beans.
3, 2, 1. There's not one guy, one person in the history of this program that's bigger than the program.
What's better than this? Guys being